What the heck?
Loki.
There I am. Yeah, it's coming up. All right. I can't keep typing these intricate titles. All right.
Hot tub videos on Twitch.
Are you new to this scene?
No, I mean I've never been on the scene. I just going to Twitch. I'm like, this is a thing now, huh?
Yeah.
It seems like this is like what Twitch is now.
Well, here's the thing about retention is that once the person's like over it, they're done. Hot tubs, you know, like I don't know how long you can simp, but personally, simping is not as engaging for me. But then again, I'm older and I've had like a long-term relationship. So we've started the show. So
it's all good.
It's all good. Okay.
Fortunately, as well.
Before we get in trouble, you won't get in trouble. Hey. Oh, Jesus.
I'm just gonna report you right now.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That'll get us some controversy.
There you go.
It's like Paul just got swatted for. Gosh, it's horrible. All right. Yeah. Nobody's watching. Yeah. But
do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. No. But the whole thing is, they were so prudish with what attractive women can do on on Twitch that the slightest little bit of shifting or showing feet was scrutinized by the moderators. And then some girls were just like, okay, I'm going to the beach. This is like a live feed of just me talking. And then after a while, it's kind of like, I feel like gamers have to admit that there's OnlyFans, and then there's Instagram, and then there's Twitch. And if that's what people want to do on this platform, I don't know, just let them,
Yeah.
Because what's the word? It's never going to be fair for people that are, not as attractive. You basically have to just go in with what your talents are, and they're measured against all entertainment. Like ever. So, that's just the way it is.
I get it.
Yeah.
Women in bikinis, they grab viewers.
Right. And like, it's not like, oh, sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's good.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say, it's not like games don't sell sex in them.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I also see that as like Twitch doesn't want to become something, they want to be, you go here and you watch people playing games. It seems like that was like their main thing. Mm-hmm. And if you have it it's kind of like the chat roulette thing, right? Like it's supposed to be like, oh, you just jump on and just talk to somebody. No,
nope,
it's
a bunch of dicks.
It's like, just get a dick on your screen.
Yeah.
Click it and you see a different dick. You got your choice.
Different resolution dick.
Yeah.
No, I get that. Like, you kind of want to just create a community and a safe spot and sell what you're actually. There's growing pains and working out what it's actually going to be. That's why algorithms are both awesome and dangerous. So, like, Facebook versus TikTok. Facebook, I create the algorithm and it suggests people to me. My friends can turn me off for 30 days and they won't have to see anything from my feed. You can, delete people. Whereas TikTok, the first time you turn it on, for me personally, it's like the most annoying popular things on there. And like, I kind of hate it. And then I scroll and I find things that I do like, and then I like them. And then lately TikTok has been about like science and learning. Like, they have aquarium feeds and they show, different sea creatures and educate you about them. Or there's, hacks. So, I mean, and like, I like my TikTok, but if you hate your TikTok, that's on you, from,
right.
Whatever you like or whatever it thinks you like because of something that's sort of related. And that's kind of how YouTube is, where, oh, I like video games. And then there's this guy that's like a Nazi that also likes the same video game. You're like, I didn't need to. I like Star Fox 64, but that guy, we're not going to be friends.
Yeah.
Outside of the fandom.
Definitely watching a couple of videos about The Last Jedi, and it's like, you get all the white supremacist trolls.
Yeah, it's like
doing their videos about how Kathleen Kennedy's destroying Star Wars.
Yeah. Do you like Far Cry? Would you like to see rhinos being poached? No. No, because one of those is real, and I hate that.
Yeah.
So yeah. No, I know. It sucks because like I just wish there were people to help guide young fans on how to deal with disappointment and their emotions, and not to scapegoat things.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, how does that affect them? Or are, like you said, I think in a past one of these, you're like, Kathleen Kennedy has done good stuff. Why doesn't she get credit for all those good things?
Right. Yeah. It's like the good stuff goes to Jon Favreau or Filoni. Or when I say good stuff, I mean what they perceive as good stuff.
Yeah. Positive, whatever they're eating. Yeah.
And then if it's negative, it's all on Captain Kennedy.
It's a woman's fault.
Or Rose Tico, Kelly Marie Tran.
By the way, I haven't seen it yet, but I need to pump Raya and the Last Dragon, because that's Rose Tico. Kelly Marie Tran.
Yeah, I saw that at the drive-in. It was cool.
Yeah. So I mean, just give her a chance and watch that. Try it out. So and that's all it is like, try it out and then really think to yourself, was this the actors? Was this the director? Was this a bad fit for the actor? And not like rage about the person ruining it, or being able to say, I don't have to hate this actor, actress, for the rest of my life and have them ruin other projects for me. Just fresh start each time. Like, I love Dave. Well, you liked, oh my gosh, Minari? What is it called?
Yes. I like that movie.
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, I don't want to say like other people don't have depth, but you are a person that like can appreciate like slice of life, wholesomeness,
Yeah.
Like if there's an edgelord out there needs to be like a wholesome lord. It's just like, oh, I just like things that make my heart feel warm,
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I do like, I like Quentin Tarantino movies. I like, it's certainly like the aggressive, violent movies too.
But like
to make movies,
because
they use all like the zoom, like and even like specific things that happen. It's like, dude, that happened in a Quentin Tarantino film.
Yeah. Well, Quentin Tarantino even said, he's like, I'm just a huge fan of film, and I include all of it in my movies, albeit a bit stylized to my, aesthetic. And yeah, when I think about like zooms in 1970s blaxploitation movies, I think how awesome they are in a Kill Bill movie, where it's like, and then you get this like great scoring with the soundtrack, and it's both kind of unique, but also a throwback, I think because it comes in the modern age, where a lot of the times you see a lot of big budget movies doing the same kind of moves, like shaky cam in the fight scenes, or I'm trying to think of something, because like Quentin Tarantino doesn't cut dialogue. It's very meticulous and long, and sometimes I don't know, there's a little bit of fat on there, but just enough where it's not distracting.
Right.
Also tension.
What do you mean when you say he doesn't cut dialogue? You mean like cut from one face to another face, or whatever? He usually shoots like profile when they're talking.
Not necessarily that. More like if two people are having a conversation, sometimes they have like Pulp Fiction, when Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson are talking about McDonald's in Europe and here. It's interesting, and they're very casual about it, but it's always, to me, it's always engaging. Like, I actually care about them having this conversation. And then all that buildup is cut off because now they're going to go in and kill like 2 dudes and accidentally kill Phil Lamar, you know, by collecting money because they're hitmen. You know, that juxtaposition, it doesn't feel bloated, doesn't feel long. Like, it all serves a purpose. Or Inglourious Bastards, when I forgot his name. He's called the Jew Hunter? No.
The Bear Jew.
Well, no.
Oh, no. You mean, yeah, I think it is a Jew Hunter?
I hate saying that. But yeah,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Christoph Waltz.
Yeah.
We'll just use his real name. I don't know his name in the movie. I thought it'd come to me. But yeah, Christoph Waltz and the Frenchman who's hiding some Jewish people underneath his floor, and them speaking French. You're reading subtitles. There's a reason they're speaking French. It's not just some like, I did this because I'm being artistic. No, it's because he doesn't want the German Jews down there to understand what's going on up there, even though they're completely frightened. And then they switch to English, and yeah, it's very gripping, and there's tension and weight. And even though Quentin Tarantino's movies are long, if not 2 parts, they go by fast to me as a viewer, you know. So I super appreciate it. Having said that, that's why I love The Mandalorian so much. Back to Westerns, is that, oh boy, the sound of spurs, desolate planet with nothing in sight except small little, you know, towns. And then a drifter going around,
right? You
know, meeting other either scum or, you know, other drifters. It's awesome.
Yeah, using people to his advantage, maybe turning them against. So like the Bill Burr's crew in the first season.
Yeah.
Well, that's like totally spaghetti western things. Like, pretty cool.
Yeah, the gunslinger kid, where he double crosses Django. He's clearly young and stupid, and then he gets his upcomings. And I think a lot of people hate that episode because it felt kind of like, I don't know why people hate it.
I don't know either, and it is definitely my least favorite of that season.
Maybe because everything else was so good, or do you think it was just because they killed Ming-Na Wen before we knew that she would come back, you know, as an assassin, or with Boba Fett?
I mean, at that point, I felt like everybody was kind of like a one and done type of deal anyway.
That's true.
So I don't know if I was going to feel like that necessarily. I don't know. I couldn't really give you a reason why. I'd have to watch it again, I guess.
Well, what I appreciated about it is Fennec is clearly a sniper. She has a position that they basically can't get over there, even with the Beskar plated Boba Fett. And, you know, they need her and the information she has. Or I think it's info. Yeah. Anyways.
Well, she was a target, right? And he wanted to get her, the young kid.
That's right. Yeah.
And the Mandalorian is going to be able to take all the money. He said, "You can have the bounty. I don't care. I just want to be in the guild."
That's right. And then Django. Gosh, the Mandalorian.
There is a character named Django in Star Wars, so, and he is a Mandalorian. Yeah. So that's.
Oh boy. Okay.
I'm sure that's a reference to that too.
So I don't know. Since we're talking about Django, before we get into Bad Batch, we should talk about Bounty Hunters, the Marvel comic. Bounty Hunter War. War of the Bounty Hunters Alpha, because that's where we hear the name Django by Boba Fett. Because this where it takes place is he's transporting frozen and carbonite Han Solo from Empire to Jabba, but it's not as smooth as the movies led us to believe. He actually has a lot of bumps in the road, and he has to assassinate someone. Well, okay, sorry. The carbonite is it's not
it's deteriorating, right?
It's deteriorating, but it's also killing Han. Isn't that it?
Kill him. It's not good for him.
Yeah, because this is the first time anyone's frozen anyone in carbonite, which in the Mandalorian he just does on the reg because I guess that's something you can do.
Yeah.
So
More reliable than like putting binders on them, right?
yeah, well, and having Horatio Sands talk your ear off.
Yeah, that too. They probably had more to do with it than
I can take you
keep
in.
them there.
I can take
Keep
you
them
in
custody.
warm and not shutting up, or I can take you in cold and then peace and quiet.
I saw Tomcats. I was not into it at all.
Tomcats?
Yeah, that was one of his movies, right? Wasn't he in that movie?
It's Tara Reid and what's his name? The guy from Sliders.
Jerry O'Connell's
yeah, Jerry
in it, right?
O'Connell. Yeah.
Yeah, Horatio Sands is in it too.
Okay. I mean, I'm not like the biggest Horatio Sands fan, but I
liked the one Saturday Night Live. He was fine.
yeah. I watched a guy like review every Saturday, one episode or more from every season of Saturday Night Live to see if the current season is the worst season, and clearly it's not. It's just how people remember things. There's a lot of duds in SNL.
Well, yeah, it's like the that concept of, you think of like movies were so good back then, like, but it's like you don't remember the shitty ones. You only remember the good ones.
Right.
So you think everything was a hit. It's like the 90s, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I sit back and think the 90s is like being the best time for music ever, but it's like there was a lot of shit in the 90s, man.
Oh yeah. However, I will say there was a lot of defining music, whereas now there's so much music out there, and it's just hard to be on the top 40, I feel.
Yeah.
Unless you're already established. But back to War of the Bounty Hunters. So he has a guy, he can't pay him, the guy that's gonna fix Han. He's like a doctor or an engineer, like both.
Yeah, he's a doctor.
Okay. And he's like, look, you can either pay me or you can do this thing for me. I need somebody killed. And it turns out they have a gladiatorial arena, which I don't know if you know about Mandalorians, but that is how the first Mandalorian came to power. I don't remember the name of the guy, but that's how they became a state.
Oh, yeah.
It's not state, but like a society where it's a meritocracy. Like, you can be any race, but you are a Mandalorian once you don the armor.
Terra Vizsla, is that who it was?
Terra Vizsla, yeah. And so there, Boba Fett's like, I really don't want to have to, and it's like, that's not my problem. And then the doctor's like, well, if you don't help me with my problem, I don't help you with your problem.
Yeah.
It's like, damn it. Well, look, if I go in there, people are going to know I'm Boba Fett. It's like, oh, no. I'm a doctor. I can fix you. And he's like, okay. So what he does, and this is such a basic move, but I love it. He paints his armor completely black and calls himself Jango to hide the fact that he's Boba Fett. I'm like, what if he just called himself Jango Fett and he walked into the arena? He basically just fights his way up. He doubles your entry fee every time you win a battle.
Right.
And then
it triples.
And then it triples, and then the end boss, the champion. There's people like, oh, you don't want to mess with her. Maybe you'll get lucky and they'll swap her out real quick. And then it's like, no, that wouldn't be good for me. And then there she is. She's a spider lady. Yeah. Like an awesome, badass spider lady.
Like a full-on person with like a spider abdomen connected to her.
It's so good. She's also got like a crown. And that's the thing about Star Wars is there's like a unique, like, oh, it's the Old West. Most things are humanoid. And if they're not humanoid, they're completely bestial and wild. Or if they're a slug creature, they don't move around a lot because it's a giant prosthetic. So it's just essentially like Jabba the Hutt. He can't wear clothes because he's, big old slug. Or a longhorn. That's just a wild creature that will fight you for its own reasons. Anywho, yeah, Jango beats her, of course. It's awesome.
There she is.
Yeah. She's just all legs. Look, check out the cams on that one. All legs. Oh man. Awesome. great art, great action.
Yeah. Oh, and I like leading up to it too. They did like the little montage of him like beating everybody. You know, like
Hmm.
just see like these guys like flying over,
Well,
cutting to it.
they start off with each single panel battle where he's just shooting everyone in the head or cutting all their heads off or stabbing them in the head with a spear.
Yep. Yep.
And then they have names, and then after a while the announcers are like, whatever. That that dude just died. Well, they just messed with the wrong Mando. Yeah. Pretty cool. He wins the thing. There's some people that are like, "Oh, you're going to keep fighting for us." He's like, "No, I'm not." And he's like, "You can keep the winnings. I just, I had a bounty I need to take care of." And that was a syndicate, I think, that was trying to leverage him.
Yeah, it's a conja. What's it called? The conja guys.
Yeah, the Kanja guys. And then he goes back to the doctor because the deed's done, and the doctor is killed by some nefarious people that I guess he
off
owed.
screen.
Yeah, off screen. And so Jango Fett's like, shit. I got this, giant carbonite popsicle Han Solo thawing in the day, and now I gotta fix this. And that leads us into the next Bounty Hunters issue 1.
Yeah.
So how does that go?
Issue 1. Let me just scroll through this quicker. I just read it before we went on. So I'm all the way at the end.
Okay. Well, by the way, Boba Fett is telling Jabba, because Jabba's like, "Where is my Han Solo? You say I got my Han Solo." And then Boba's like, there's a bump in the road. I'm on my way." So Jabba's just like, "Is this guy, is he messing with me?" And he sends assassins to take out, he puts a bounty on Boba, and it's Forlom and Zuckuss. And Forlom is a precog, can see the future, like a fortune teller, and he's trying to take in Boba Fett. And then they have a battle. Thankfully, Slave 1 is there, and that's where Boba Fett learns that Jabba has a hit on him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes and confronts. Han Solo is stolen from his ship.
Well, so Han Solo was stolen from the Doctor, right? By
that's right. Yeah.
Some hooded person that we're not really sure who it is. This person, right?
Yeah. I thought it was Dr. Aphra, or is that her name?
Yeah, Dr. Aphra.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's definitely a woman. I mean, you could tell. So, then they're just saying that she's gonna tell everyone they got him. They're gonna sell him, whatever. Mm-hmm. Then it cuts to Boba Fett in this bar, where he's talking to the bartender, saying someone's gonna die, and talking about how it's stolen. And we see like two wannabe bounty hunters, or at least one wannabe bounty hunter and his friend, saying, "Oh, there's this bounty that just came up, and if we get it, it's huge. We're gonna be able to build life. It's Boba Fett." And so he sneaks up behind Boba Fett, and then Boba Fett sees him like in a glass and a reflection, like a James Bond, Indiana Jones type of deal.
Sure.
Turns around, just blasts him.
Yep.
And the bartender's like, "What was that about?" He's like, "I don't know. Could be anything."
Yeah.
Just knew it was happened. And that's when he runs into Zuckuss.
Yeah.
And he takes the droid. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the droid's name.
Oh, Forlom?
Yeah, Forlom.
Yeah, he rips off his head after shooting him and plugs him into the computer of his Slave 1.
And finds out there's a bounty against him and not Solo.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, who is this? Who's got the bounty against me? And then it cuts to Jabba's palace, where he's talking to Bib Fortuna, saying, "Hey, where's Jabba? I need to talk to him. Why is it here?" And like kills the guards he's with, and
two Gamorreans, two pigs,
two Gamorrean guards.
Green
pigs.
pigs.
And just before that, like the the droid heads like tell him like, "Hey, it could be so much use for you. I know all these languages now." And then Zuckuss says, "Has upgraded my targeting system," and he just throws him off the bridge.
Yeah.
I was laughing. That was really good.
Oh man. Yeah. Sorry. Hold on.
Oh, that's good. So it cuts to
Okay.
Bib Fortuna tells him, Jabba's not here. He's out, and it cuts to Jabba like having a video conference with all the other Hutts.
Yep.
And they're talking about how this group had invited them to purchase Solo, and that's what Jabba thought. Jabba thought that Boba Fett had sold Han Solo to somebody else, and now this person was trying to sell it to Jabba at a higher price.
Mm-hmm.
So Jabba sent a hit out on him.
Yeah. That's a very finesse way of crafting confusion and double cross.
Uh-huh.
When that's not the case. Yeah, that's what I like about tragedies, like Greek tragedy. So
Yeah, mistaken identity, whatever, misunderstood situations.
yeah, it turns into a giant cluster F. Not that we weren't swearing before, but I don't want to do it gratuitously.
Yeah.
You cluster effers. Yeah, but
so go ahead.
oh, it's weird because like I want people to buy the comic. I mean, the comic did just come out last week.
That's true.
But I don't know. Like we had 2 viewers. Now we only have 1. It's fine. Oh wait, it says 3 viewers. Interesting.
Oh,
I think 1 is me. Maybe 1 is you.
Well, we know we're not 3 people, so
That's true. Girly Junket, and that's you, and then Academy Impossible.
Girly Junket's me.
Yeah, Girly Junket, Duck Dodgers is you, and then Academy Impossible. Yeah,
Cool.
that's cool. I wonder why it shows only 1 person though that's watching now.
Interesting.
I don't know how any of these things work. We're just 2 dudes talking, and like, anyways, I don't know how do you feel about spoilers for comics versus spoilers for the Bad Batch?
Well, maybe we should have mentioned it that I was going to spoil it. I think it's kind of like, we're going over kind of what happens and
Okay.
we discuss it and break it down. The only way you can really discuss the plot is to reveal the plot.
Okay, well, the very first issue of War of the Bounty Hunters, not the alpha, but this actual part of the series,
Right.
does have a mega big kind of like reveal. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I say mega big, it's like someone that I feel like the series Star Wars kind of forgets this movie. I liked it, but a lot of people had issues with it and didn't like it. The tie-in. But yeah, just continue, and then this is the mark where we definitely warned you about spoilers.
Right. Yeah. There's going to be a large spoiler coming up. Well, let me pull this back up. I want to make sure I got the thing. So after we learn who's working for who stole Han Solo's body, or his carbonite, it's revealed that it is the Crimson Dawn, which is from
Solo.
most prominently from Solo, right?
Yeah, Solo.
So we see this hooded figure talking, and she sends out invitations to the Hutts, all these people, Afra, everybody, to say like, here's Han Solo on sale. Come on down to meet up with me, and it's gonna go to the highest bidder. And
because that's how she sounds. She's like a car dealership commercial. Come on down to the butter barn. Yeah.
She kind of hints that there's a bigger plan in getting all these people together and getting them into one room beyond like selling him, right?
Right.
And she then says, Han Solo, you always wanted to save me, now you can. And then it's revealed that it is Kira, his first girlfriend that we see on screen anyway.
Daenerys Targaryen, first of her name, breaker of worlds and breaker of chains. Yeah.
Yeah. So they brought back Kira, which is not where I expected this to go at all.
We all forgot about her. We just assumed
Yeah.
she like went and became like a crime syndicate lord and had battles on her own and adventures that I did not see Solo continuing her story because it's not really about her. It's just about betrayal and Solo learning, you can't trust anyone and you have to kind of be cutthroat about it. Hence the death of Beckett, who, I mean, Woody Harrelson. This is kind of funny because we're about to talk about Bad Batch. So we have Woody Harrelson, and then Sid is Rhea Perlman, who is Carla. So we have Woody and Carla from Cheers.
That's true.
If we get Mr. Potato Head himself, Cliff Clavin, or no, Cliff was the pig.
He was the ham.
The ham. Yeah. So we might have an unintentional Cheers reunion on Bad Batch.
Ted Danson, Kelsey Grammer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I only know the other characters by character's name, Cliff and Norm.
Yeah.
What is
George Wendell?
Cliff is John
Ratzenberg.
Yeah.
Ratzenberg. Yeah.
Yeah. Just need Kirstie Alley too.
Yep.
I don't see that happening anytime soon, but
I mean, she's alive. She's not dead, so
Yeah. Isn't she like kind of canceled? I thought she was.
I mean, to be fair, like Cliff is not exactly on the, like I'm just trying to see if they're still viable. I haven't heard anything about Kirstie Alley. I just know, she's her political affiliations. Same with Cliff. He's also part of that. Ted Danson is on The Good Place. What's the newest thing he's done?
He's done a lot of stuff that like was at least semi-successful, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's just for me because I think of him with his silvery white hair, like The Good Place. It's like, okay.
Did you ever watch Bored to Death? That HBO show with Jason Schwartzman and Zach Galifianakis.
A little bit.
So good.
Yeah.
That was so good. I was so bummed that I got canceled. He was so good in that. Jason
Schwartzman for me is like, okay, I'm watching a Wes Anderson film because he's like in 3 of them and it's like those two are always the same tone. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I've typecasted him, so that's where my brain goes when I watch that. Whereas with Zach Galifianakis, I'm just like, this is going to get really weird and absurd, and either it's going to be very funny or very interesting, but I won't be bored. So yeah, I can't really remember much about that show just because there's a lot I watch. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, it's been off the air for like 10 years, so
yeah. I mean, I didn't have HBO Max for a while, and I just got access to it to do a show. I should be plugging all the midnight Marvel shows. So not tomorrow night going into Wednesday. We're doing the on the Keeg, we're doing the midnight release of the Loki. What's it called?
You're gonna do the first episode?
I'm gonna do the whole season except for the last episode. So
okay.
Yeah, because I'll be away. I'll be traveling, visiting fam. So, but it's cool. It's nice that it works out that way, So who knows? Who will be that guest host? Someone hopefully incredibly more qualified and gonna raise our ratings. Maybe there'll be like a great collab with a famous TikToker.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Or what if we could just get one of the actors from the show? Nobody major, but somebody like an extra.
Owen Wilson, maybe.
Wow. You have to say it when you hear it, and I feel bad. I feel like Owen Wilson is the first ASMR in movies because they do a lot of him whispering. Hey, hi, wow, Jackie Chan, look at you, man! It was so hot on this thing. Wow, there was a goat on the island. We get girls. They're like, hey, you want to come look at our goat? We do our little thing and we crash a wedding or two, and the girls come on over and be like, oh wow, you weren't lying. There's a goat. That's like an actual story he told. And I'm just like, oh, that's great. It's in my brain.
Is good.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well,
Okay.
yeah. So Kira's back in the picture.
Yeah.
Gonna see what's happening with the Crimson Dawn, which means other syndicates are going to, come into play. I didn't know the Hutts were kind of like Hut centric. I mean, I should know better. I thought maybe there'd be some warring Hutts, but I guess not.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They're all kind of like that. They kind of talk about that in one of the Aftermath books with Zima the Hutt. How they like
Warrior princess.
Yeah.
Wow.
They talk about how all the Hutts like to be praised and like spoken to, like they're the greatest thing that's ever happened. So
Yeah,
it's like Nora or somebody had to talk to them like that to try to get them to get her to do what they want. But yeah. So it's kind of cool to bringing her back. It kind of puts a new character in there, and when I say new, I mean, a character I wasn't expecting to be in there, and we know where Han Solo ends up.
Mm-hmm.
We know where Boba Fett ends up, and we know how it all ends, right? We know how Han Solo comes back,
right?
So they got to do something to make it interesting, to kind of, give it some sort of risk, or at least some sort of wild card in there. Maybe give us a character that some of us might care about. What is her fate?
Yeah. Also, too, I just thought about the timeline. Because Solo is, what is he, like 19 in the movie Solo?
Yeah, something like that.
So then, yeah. So by Empire, he's just turned 30-ish.
Right.
So Kira, I just assume, is like relatively the same age. 1 year over under. So now she's also in her 30s, I think that's, yeah, it's interesting. Because she changed a lot while he was off at the Empire Academy going on wars. And then they finally meet up. I think there was like a 2 or 3 year montage of him acquiring the Falcon and doing all that stuff. And then Paul Bettany's character, which is a trivia question, which we totally forgot. I forget it now.
Oh,
see?
Now that I'm like pressured, I can't think of it.
I know.
Dryden Voss?
Yes, Dryden Voss. That's right.
Yeah.
Voss like that water that I never buy, and then Dryden, because
once you spill it, it's got to be Dryden.
Yeah, dry. It's
Dryden nut.
Nut and honey, Dryden Voss. Oh, okay. We all have
Dryden that Voss that I spilled.
Yeah. Oh, it's weird. This is a weird conversation. Thank you, Star Wars names. But yeah, we kind of briefly talked about it because like you're like, hey, there's a huge reveal in this comic, and then I got around to reading it, and then I was like, yeah, I like how it's a singularity with the legacy characters in this way, because I feel like maybe there's going to be some spring cleaning, in that maybe some people are gonna, or what's it called? People that know Han Solo that are kind of like plots that are loose ends are going to get snipped. Maybe they'll all die or get, destroyed. And that kind of like ushers in the next era when Solo is in the Star Wars universe. Or not. But I compared Solo to kind of like Forrest Gump. How Forrest Gump is this fictional historical singularity that just so happens to be at every major historical moment throughout a person that would have lived those different times.
Yeah.
And including meeting presidents, including being in the Vietnam War. And like, that's kind of how, you're in fiction, or this person just had a lot of adventures. Maybe we all want to feel that way, where we're all like living through time and we were there for something, or like a major key issue happened to us. And I mean, it just depends on you. Like, are you a person that's like, I was at the protests, I was at a school shooting, I was like I mean, are you doing it for clout
Yeah,
or whatever? But you know,
yeah. I mean, so you're just saying because it happens to be in all this is kind of unrealistic, or maybe just a little
I feel like
contrived or something like
yeah.
that.
In the beginning, I did feel like it was contrived, but then I like look at my own life or my parents' lives, and like I think it it's humbling to think of ourselves as, oh, we did two or three things, so nobody else should have done more than that. And the truth
Right.
is, no, like life, if you make it an adventure, if you travel a lot, or if you just get out there, things are going to happen and you're going to be there for stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine. And actually, it does make your story as a person incredible. Uh, or if you're a very boring storyteller, at least you have like good title cards, like clickbait.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Well,
I
I
would,
mean, that,
yeah.
go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
no, go for it.
Well, I mean, the way I was thinking it was like, well, we're following Han Solo for a reason because he has been able to go through all this stuff, right? So
Mhm.
he's not just some regular guy; he's Han Solo. So we, the reason why he's interesting and why he's a character is because he's been able to have all these experiences.
Mhm.
But yeah, and they kind of directly reference that too, right? That Kira says that you can link him to like every major faction in the galaxy, like the Rebel Alliance, the Empire, the Hutts,
Yeah.
whatever, bounty hunters, smugglers, like they all know him. They've all had dealings with them out of really like he's like the only person who's had dealings with like all those major groups. So he's kind of centric to everything.
Yeah. It sucks to say this, but networking is so important in the entertainment industry. And the entertainment industry is a lot like the mafia or seedy criminal organizations in that um you don't always meet under the most like cleanest circumstances. You
Yeah.
know, you might bump into a party and this party has illegal activities going on or whatever. Uh, why am I talking like I was there? Yeah, it was at like this gun deal, right? You know, me and then there was the Cubans and then there was the Russians and we are all just hanging out. And then I was like, man, I hope this gun deal, it hurries up so I can get to an open mic I'm going to. Oh, you do stand up karate? Oh wow, that's crazy. Um, no. But yeah, it's cool. I'm a fan of it, and
Yeah.
it's an interesting story. And I think that's a much more not or I guess organic's the word I'm going to use, than having a lot of prequelitis in movies, where every single little detail that the fans love is then mentioned very ham-fistedly. And I think that's the wrong way to go about it. If someone just like turns goes, huh, like once to one little thing, I think that's way better than, hey, Han Solo, that's my ship, the Millennium Falcon. I loved her because my robot lady friend, she was uploaded into the computer. And boy, do I love that ship. But that's okay, I'll let you have her. In a poker game, because I'm a cheater. I'm a cheating poker. Like, if they just did that ad nauseum, blah.
Yeah.
Really easy to
Yeah.
cancel.
I mean, that's you were talking about you like so I liked Solo too, but yeah, there's way too much of that going on.
The prequel,
How
yeah.
did he get his blaster? Here you go, kid. Whoa.
He disassembles a
It's
rifle.
my blaster.
Yeah. Wow. I actually like the way Chewbacca and him met. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that is cool. Although Chewbacca like eats people. That's a little weird. But
So do the Ewoks.
oh, they definitely were going to, right?
Well, they eat the stormtroopers because they have like
oh,
the
they
helmets
got
on
like their
pikes.
hollowed out helmets.
Yeah.
I guess I never really thought of it like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sheesh.
Yeah. They're not vegan Ewoks.
Oh, like Fred the stormtroopers. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The fact that they knew to like spit roast live,
Mm-hmm.
uh, we'll call them humans, I guess. Is that, yeah, humans. Yeah.
Yeah, and on the little action figures in the back, they would tell you what species, and for the human characters, they would say human. I don't know if that's canon, but
Yeah.
They refer to them as human.
Don't think about it too much. Just
Yeah,
go with it.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's definitely become my philosophy in the last couple of years.
So, yeah. Oh, Ryan Johnson's time travel movie. What's it called?
Looper.
Looper. So there's Looper, which I enjoyed a lot, except for the prosthetic on Jason Gordon-Levitt's face. I thought that was
Really
weird
weird.
because
Yeah.
it looked like his lips were, I don't know. And then well, I saw Tenet finally, and a lot of people don't like it, and I like it. And I think,
It's Christopher Nolan, right?
yeah, it's Christopher Nolan, and they're trying to explain it to you. And I think the problem is people are like, this is too complicated, I quit, or this is too weird, and it just doesn't make sense, so it's a dumb movie. And for me, it's like, just don't think about it too much.
Yeah.
Just know that it's not time travel, in a sense. It's inversion, and then he's just doing a thing. And if you don't get it, it's fine.
Yeah, I didn't see Tenet, but I was thinking of Inception. Like people talking about, what do you think happened? I was just spinning top. I'm like, I don't give a shit, dude. Like I saw the movie, whatever. He is or he isn't. I whatever.
The whole question is Leonardo DiCaprio still dreaming?
Yeah.
That's the only takeaway you need. And when he spins the totem, the movie cuts because you never see it stop, because that's the signifier. So it's just up to you, and don't worry about it too much. You know, relax. Just relax, kid. It's funny though, because like with movies like that that could be deep if you want them to be deep, people get upset that love plot hole ridden Zack Snyder movies, where like for me, I'm just like, I'm so upset, and they're just like, dude, you're just a snob. But then when it comes to like Tenet or Looper or Knives Out or any like, or Ryan Johnson, anything, but you know, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of deep, but I think you're like going crazy. Whereas this movie's like, to me, it's like, this movie's kind of dumb and I don't really love it. So, you know, to each their own. So did you come here for Bad Batch? Because we could be doing, let's do
finally
some,
gonna get to it. 45 minutes in.
Yeah, let's do some Bad Batch. Okay, so they're back at Sid's place. Sid has a job for them. Hunter is like, I don't want to do it, and then Sid's like, well, you don't really have a choice.
Yeah. And this is in the middle of Omega's lesson with that laser bow and arrow too.
Which
so there's like random bolts like flying everywhere.
Yeah, which it opens up with a patron walking across the street, like some lady. She goes down the stairs, and then they shoot like a bolt, and she's like, oh shit, and then runs up the stairs, and then they're like, sorry. And like, I'm just sitting there like, Sid, you can't be having bodies in the bar. Also, why target practice next to the entrance? It's just like,
well, that's where the target is.
Ah, jeez. Jeez, oh jeez, oh jeez.
Yeah. Obviously, Sid's not too worried about having patrons. That's not her main gig.
Yeah, but you don't want to have your place being investigated. You know.
Right. Yeah, you gotta clear out some bodies. It's not gonna do well.
Yeah, it's funny how Sid is like a gray character, which like she's not really a bad person, but she's not a good person. Oh, she's kind of a bad person. I mean,
yeah, I want to say she's leaning more toward bad than good.
Yeah, she reminds me of Benicio del Toro, like him being like, you know, I sold weapons to the rebels too, as well as the Imperials. So, you know, not everything is as it seems.
Yeah. It's just business. Yeah. She seems like, well, I mean, she could rat them out. She's not, right?
Yeah.
But she is trying to get use out of them, send them out to do jobs. She's got leverage against them. So, yeah, she's not a good person.
No, she's not. She's just not Imperial bad.
So she's sending them out to go get the retrieve a tactical droid before it's destroyed. Hunter shows he's like, we haven't decided whether or not we're going to work for you, and she's like, you are doing it, like, because You need me. I need you. I can protect you, whatever. And then Hunter's like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do it. She's like, I know. I already told you you're gonna do it.
Yeah. Oh man. Yep. And
So that
yeah, go ahead.
so they send her out. I mean, we're gonna add to that.
Nope.
So that she sends them out. So you see them in the ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's Omega's asking like why they're going to tactical droid, and Tex says that the tactical droids are valuable because of all the knowledge that they have gained over time throughout the Clone Wars, and they've like learned how to defeat clones. And so now that all the stormtroopers are clones, a lot of those tactical droids know the weaknesses and can be effective against the Empire.
Until Tarkin gets his way and replaces all the clones with people.
Yeah, and they're going to Corellia, which is a location we know and have seen, and it looks just like it looked before. It hasn't changed.
Well, the whole common thing is why do I call her Snips? Ahsoka. Because there's
Anakin calls her Snips.
Yeah, I know. I just shouldn't call her Snips because it's weird. She wears this tube top. Snips sounds like Nips. I'm not comfortable.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm just yeah. So yeah, Ahsoka was on there after she left the Jedi, right? Temple for whatever reason. She had like
She went to Corellia. I'm
or not Corellia. It's not Corellia that matters. It's the two characters that they brought back from Clone Wars.
That was Coruscant, right?
Oh, that was
she met them on Coruscant, like at the lower level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, let's go through the whole. The Bad Batch sneaks into this facility to it's basically all the battle droids and all the droids are being like smashed up, destroyed, recycled, etc., melted down, and they're just going to take out the engineers there by doing what they do best, non-lethally, punching them till they're unconscious or shooting them with a stun ray. And they almost, get through it, except that there are two engineers there that aren't who they seem. Mm-hmm. And do you know their names?
Yes. Rafa and Trace.
Yeah, Rafa and Trace.
And they're like, what, the Mendez sisters? I think that's their...
Yes.
What they're known as.
Yeah. Who we met in Clone Wars.
We met in the last season of Clone Wars. They worked with Ahsoka. They didn't like Jedi in the Clone Wars. I don't remember too much beyond that.
No, that's all you really need to know. Yeah.
So they were trying to go after the droid too, which was only a head, was the only thing intact. It was a single head. So I guess it's easier to fight over a head, right? than a whole body. So one of the Mendez sisters, I think Trace, grabs it, and they kind of have to fight the security droids together, and while they're fighting each other, trying to fight over the head, and they kind of collaborate, and So they eventually they both leave together, but the head is destroyed. And before the head is destroyed, I think.
Well, we'll just go through what happens. So there's like a scuffle over it. Because like the battle kind of gets you to why they could destroy the head. There's a lot of like moving parts on the conveyor belts to crush things. There's a struggle between one of the sisters and Omega, and then Omega gets trapped as one of the sisters claims the head, and then she turns around. All the while, the Bad Batch is being bombarded with all these like droids, police officer droids, who they're taking out, and they're also fighting the other Mendez sister. They get overwhelmed. They get put in a situation where Wrecker has to go to a terminal to switch on all the droids. But he's having his head injury. And then we start to see him say, all good soldiers follow orders.
Yes.
And that's like very unnerving because that's like the whole theme is like, oh, Order 66. It's still happening. Turns out that the protocol droid could be used because they basically team up with the sisters, despite the fact that they really need that head as well. And they have this tech. He has that like stick that can boost the signal and
Right.
download the data from the head of the droid to use the leftover, battle droids to fight off the police robots. I have to use droids and robots, or I'll be saying droid, droid, droid all day long. And it's kind of cool. You see him like, Roger, Roger, where are we? What's happening? I don't know. Did we win? Yeah, and then they like go and they shoot. They basically help, and then the head eventually gets crushed, and they run out, and it looks like both of them don't have any spoils of the battle. And then Hunter's like, "Hey, this is that stick, and it downloaded all the tech, and we're gonna give it to you for saving Omega's life or whatever." I don't remember the specific reason.
Yeah.
And they leave empty-handed, which is kind of weird. I feel like you copy it, like you have a guy that's an android. He should have like a SD card or USB.
Which maybe they did. We don't know for sure.
Yeah, we don't know. But it would be kind of like a very big gesture to hand off this very important intel to the sisters who, like you said, we know don't like the Jedi. However, they are...
We know that.
However, I think they are rebels. So, because the Jedi are basically considered extinct at this point by the general population. So, you see later on their ship that there's a hologram, there's robes, and they're contacting
And she
somebody.
says to him, get him on the line or whatever she said.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just this portion of somebody.
That would be Lats.
And she says that we found rogue clone troopers. I can tell you where they are.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we're supposed to guess who that is. You have any guesses?
Well, Darth Maul doesn't wear tan, light-colored robes.
I don't think it's Darth Maul. Yeah.
Or the
Is
Jedi
he?
Hunters.
No, he's not dead. He's still alive.
Yeah, if there's still clones around, because he doesn't die until...
He dies right before like A New Hope starts.
Right.
Or at least a couple of years.
Yeah.
At most.
Right.
He dies during Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert.
Him, and it's a good guy. I don't know. I really don't know. Who do you think? I don't think it's
Well,
Obi.
I mean, I was thinking it's Ahsoka at first, but they specifically said him, which I mean, it could be Ahsoka, masquerading as somebody or whatever. Or I kind of went online to see what people were thinking.
What if it was
A lot of
Mace?
people were thinking it's Bail Organa.
He didn't die at the temple.
Yeah, he's not dead at this time.
Yeah, because the Empire hasn't blown up Coruscant.
Yeah.
Or not Coruscant.
Alderaan.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like
Alderaan reasons.
not just like right after Revenge of the Sith, right? Not all this is happening.
Yeah. Yeah, because we see Order 66 in the first episode. So
yeah. So I mean, it could be him. Could be somebody we just never met before, which is possible.
Yeah, I don't know though. Like, do you think it's a Legends character? I don't think so, but I mean, I'm just trying to think like, what him is there that is main continuity legacy
that would have contact with them after Coruscant and meeting up with. I mean, the only Jedi they know is Ahsoka, right?
Yeah. That the audience knows they know. Sure.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be like Obi-Wan, I don't think.
I just did some mind tricks on them. Like, ooh.
So I don't know. You know
Yeah.
what? I'm sure we'll find out.
Sure.
It'll be all good.
Yeah.
Do you have any hopes who you want it to be?
Mace Windu.
Mace Windu?
He's
you want him
good.
to come back?
I just hate the way he went out.
Yeah.
Because if Anakin can just jump out of a car and then Mace Windu gets thrown out a window, when we know how like incredibly capable Mace Windu is, it just, it doesn't, to me, the math doesn't work. Also, too, I didn't know that Mace and Anakin had beef that bad. And so it's kind of weird that Mace would try to like fight off Palpatine and also try to debate Anakin at the same time. It's like, if I was Mace Windu, I'd be like rolling my eyes like, ugh. Why does it have to be Anakin? I'm going to get my arm cut off now. That's how it feels.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm cool. I'm cool with whatever decision they make, as long as it's not stupid. That's kind of my whole approach to it. It's like, if it comes to bringing a character back, comes to making somebody related or finding out something's history, as long as it's not stupid, I'm good.
Yeah. I think with a show, I think it's okay to have mistakes. I also like, if you have a vision, just make it consistent with the rest of the vision. Don't course correct. So like Rogue One had a bunch of reshoots. Other franchises that I'm not crazy about had different, like, make things more colorful and brighter, bring in a new director. Whereas the Bad Batch won't have that kind of, what's it called? Advantage of just like course correcting mid-season.
Right.
So whatever they do, I have to be on board. Like, the great thing about The Mandalorian is, personally, I don't have a problem with it. Some people don't like when The Mandalorian talks too much. They like it when he's like stoic or playing with Baby Yoda. And I'm like, that's an opinion, but it didn't ruin the show for me because we have to learn about Din Djarin. Din Djarin. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. I was gonna get there.
Well, Jin is from Rogue One, Jin Erso.
Oh, Jin. So yeah, Din Djarin.
Yeah.
I hate these names. I'm so bad.
He yeah, I mean, I like him talking. And well, like you said, they can make mistakes. Mandalorian hasn't relied too heavily on like Skywalker saga characters
until the last episode.
Yeah, well, and Boba Fett. So aside from him, but I mean, he didn't really have much of an impact in the saga, right? So you know, if they're going with these fresh slates, it's kind of like it's not a lot to screw up.
Yeah,
and if you do, whatever.
So what was funny about the Luke Skywalker coming in is it was supposed to be Plo Koon. And like, I'm like, how? He got blown up in a starfighter. But apparently that was what the rumor was. Like,
was it designed to throw people off?
I don't know. I don't know why why they thought that. I don't know. I think that was one of the actors that read the script. Maybe it said Plo Koon instead of Luke. And then they saw the final cut because it's all CG that it's Luke Skywalker. And they're like, wow, I was just as surprised as you were when I saw it live.
It seems so obvious that it was going to be Luke, though.
The X-Wing?
Yeah.
Well, Last Jedi.
And at that time, like, how many Jedi were around?
You're right.
None that we knew of.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing about, like, off-screen stuff and for the audience. It's like, please, if you're going to have a mystery, lay out all the pieces so that you don't just, like, pull things out of thin air or introduce a character we don't really know or understand for this very big thing.
Right. Or if it was like a character from another medium, you got to give that character an introduction to this medium.
Yeah.
You can't just assume everybody knows who that person is.
Yeah. Though you do have diminishing returns when nobody dies on your show or movie series.
Yeah.
It's like, Fennec Shand, you're alive, but how? She's like, let me just take off all these clothes and show you all these robo body parts. Oh my gosh, it's General Grievous Shand.
Yeah. At some point, some people got to die.
Some people's gotta die.
You can't save them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no stakes, right? If death isn't permanent, it's it just kills the impact.
Yeah. And the only time I feel impact is when it's innocent people. But then for some reason, if nobody else talks about the show, then I'm like, okay, well, that was just a show. But Stranger Things season 3, a lot of people from that town died. They all turned into those jelly creatures. And then at the end of the show, they're like, hey, we're kids again. We're living our life. And I'm like,
Why don't those kids move, man?
Yeah. Get out of Indiana. I did.
What the hell? It's not like it's like just the kids seeing it and the parents like, oh, shut up, kids. Like the parents know it too. Why are they sticking around? Okay,
Whatever. I guess. Yeah. That show has so many questions for me, but I'm like, it's based on 80s horror movie logic. You know, if you're an Evil Dead movie and you survive Evil Dead 1, what do? Do you become a monster hunter? Do you leave the state? Do you become a crazy old kook? Nope. You get a whole bunch of friends and you take them to the same cabin. And then even freakier, crazier stuff happens. All of you almost die. And then you go back in time. And that's how horror movies in the 80s are.
Oh man, I've never seen the Evil Dead movies.
Oh, it's just like Camp Crystal Lake, or what happened in Scream that they kept I guess Scream chased them. It's not like they chase.
Yeah, they'd get the phone call and they'd answer and be like, you like scary movies. And then Sydney got the idea to get caller ID at one point.
Yep. Caller ID, bitch.
But you got caller ID block.
Oh.
Dude, I don't remember what happens in the third. The third one is that might have happened in the third one. I don't remember. The second one came out like the following year. It's pretty short turnaround.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't have any idea who the robe figure is. I know it's supposed to create intrigue, but just in general, like I feel like it's going to be like a Clone Wars character that I'm just not familiar with, or somebody I just don't think about, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we think it's somebody because they're teasing it. Right. So I guess that kind of gets your mind going.
I mean, yeah.
But if it's like Bail Organa, I think that's a pretty weak tease, don't you think?
Yeah, what does he do?
He's super exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He raises Leia. He watches a Padawan get shot as he's trying to drive off in his hover car. Like
yeah, I mean if it's somebody like Bail Organa, I feel like it's got to lead to somebody else or something bigger than it just being Bail Organa. I don't know. It just seems like a weird character to tease.
Yeah. It's Jar Jar.
Could be.
It could be. Well, I'm just trying to think like he has kind of robes and is alive and has some power. Senator Jar Jar Binks. Or Senator Binks.
And they've used Jar Jar in the Clone Wars. It's not like it'd be the first time he showed up in one of these types of series.
Yeah. The fact too, like they're anti-Jedi, the two sisters, and we don't know who the sisters really know because they've only been in one episode.
They were for the Bad Batch, yeah, they were in 3 or 4 episodes in the Clone Wars for that whole arc with Ahsoka. So that was probably 3.
Do you know who they met along the way? Because I've only seen the one episode with them in it.
No, I think they were. I don't really remember what their deal was. They were trying to do something, and Ahsoka kept like helping them without revealing she was a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
So like if they were gonna jump, I don't know if this exactly happens, but this is just like the kind of thing they would do. So like say they're gonna jump, they're not gonna quite make it from ledge to ledge. Ahsoka would go, oh, and like let them go, and the girls were like, oh, I made it! I can't believe I made it.
Oh, and
then at the end, she reveals that she's a Jedi, and they like turn on her, and then they come back around and be like, well, you changed my mind about Jedi. So I don't know if they're still anti-Jedi.
Okay.
We haven't seen them really, mingle with anybody else. I'll have to watch that arc again.
Yeah. I suppose it'd be like if I met Snooki and I never met any of the rest of the Jersey Shore. I'd be like, oh, I hate those people from the Jersey Shore. It's like, yeah,
Are any of them
I'm
redeemable?
Snooki. What?
Are any of them redeemable?
No, no, not really.
Okay.
But I'm just trying to find like someone who's like generally undesirable, who have like a whole entire cast of people that are undesirable, where I would have to change my mind about them. And yeah, Jersey Shore is such a large reach for me. Like I would never, like what
Never saw an
situation?
episode.
Me neither. I just know them by reputation. So
Yeah, no, but trust me, I've never not watched a show where I know characters' names like Snooki, JWoww, Polly D, The Situation. I've literally not seen a single episode.
I love that though.
But I know all these people.
You're right. That's so funny. That's so
Yeah.
funny. Closing thoughts on just the episode?
I still no Crosshair.
Right?
Kind of forgotten about that. I'd like to see what's going on there. I mean, we said that last week too. Kind of like to see what's going on with the Empire. It's been a while.
I feel like we need to go back this next episode, or they're gonna kind of lose us in episode 8. Also, too, like, yeah, this plan by revealing whoever that person was on the other side of the thing, they need to implement it. It's like a 2 or 3 episode thing, right? Or you think they're gonna do like a time jump? Because like, what's in store for the Bad Batch now? Because right now it's just like kind of meandering period.
Yeah, I mean, they're setting up record turning on them. They're putting in our minds that Sid could turn on them.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of got that going for us.
Fennec is on her way to track them.
Yeah, Fennec too is looking for them.
The Empire doesn't seem that concerned with them, though, right?
Maybe
Well,
we haven't seen them.
Exactly. They're just missing for these couple episodes. Which is interesting, because Moff put them through that test, right? And they passed.
Right.
And he's still like, I'm still not convinced. I'm like, bitch, like, you don't have other people that can do that, like what they do. So I don't know.
Oh, maybe that's what he's worried about. Maybe he's worried about an uprising or something.
That's not his character, though. His character is arrogance.
He's very arrogant,
and he's very like hard-headed when it comes to the Death Star. Just how he always is like, no. Dantooine is too remote a planet. We'll test right here on Alderaan. Like,
yeah. Now they're talking about evacuating. He's like, evacuate now in our moments of triumph.
Right. Yeah.
He's all very confident.
Yeah. Well, again, I if I'm going to compare Star Wars shows and franchises, Mandalorian's still the best. Hard to top, but we're getting a little bleed in with Fennec. Bad Batch in the Clone Wars last season. I guess it's still on par with Clone Wars. And I like Rebels a lot. I was actually surprised.
Yeah, I do too.
Some people don't, though. It's weird.
I mean, it is a little more Saturday cartoon than Clone Wars is. So I kind of get that. But I think it's like there's a lot more character development in Rebels.
There's fewer characters in Rebels.
Yeah. Well, and they're different.
Yeah.
They're not literally clones of each other, right?
That's true, too.
And Clone Wars, at least for me, I don't know how it is. I'm speaking for myself. Kind of, when I see prequel era stuff, I kind of
tune it out.
I kind of just, I kind of just like lose a little bit of interest. Not that I wouldn't watch it, and if I like it, I like it or whatever. But I guess just thinking like we're in the prequel era is kind of just a bummer.
I think there's a lot of systems and factions and not cults, but like the Order of the Jedi is an established order. So there's not really much of a mystery or intrigue of a forgotten legend. Whereas when Ezra is with Darth Maul and they're going through the Sith temple on Korriban, you kind of see like, I don't know, it's just interesting for some reason to me. More interesting. However, the Ahsoka episode where they see the two deities, the Jedi deities, or gods or whatever, I thought that was kind of interesting, you know.
That was the brother and the sister.
Yeah, the brother and the sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's kind of pretty heavy stuff for kids show. And the blind, what is it? It's like a moose.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That blind. I don't know his name is. I thought he was super cool because he was just like, I am this great being and you guys are all beneath me and you're all dead. But at the same time, okay, let me help you out. And then Kanan,
yeah.
Kanan. Him dealing with his like blindness, him sacrificing his life. Like, I think there's just a lot there for that group specifically. You know, even the astromech droid, Chopper. Yeah. Just, he's got moments that I didn't really see in Clone Wars, really, for droids anyway.
Voiced by Dave Filoni.
Oh, didn't know that. Awesome.
Yeah. I like Rebels because it's just got like the original trilogy, sequel trilogy tone to it. So I'm really into that.
So I guess I have to say is right now, Bad Batch is literally the two fused together. You have, you know, people on the run. Everything's in disarray because the old systems have all fallen. And that's kind of where we're at. The only thing is, in this show, you're not going to have romantic like interests. None of the, I guess Omega is kind of like royalty, right? Whereas in Rebels, I'm so bad with the names. The Mandalorian, she picks up the Darksaber and leads. I thought that was kind of cool because it brought the Mandalorian story and her kind of Sabine, yeah,
Sabine Wren,
who is Bo-Katan's daughter.
I don't think she's related to Bo-Katan. It might be revealed that she's like a distant relative, but she's not directly related to her. Bo-Katan's sister was Citrine.
Citrine, that's right.
Yeah.
So Sabine's family though, they were powerful because I remember there was the brother and the mother.
Yeah.
And they held like a high, whatever.
They did. Yeah. Her clan. It was like the clan of Ren or whatever it's called.
Oh, Kylo Ren?
But not Kylo, not like Kylo Ren.
Okay.
With W, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think it was a W. Yeah. Sabine Wren with a W.
Yeah. But then the Darksaber itself, like all that stuff, it's new, but it kind of old, but very interesting. Because the whole point of the Mandalorians was, I mean, on top of their upbringing as a warrior caste, was to take out Jedi, and they could do it, you know, or Force wielders, if you will, not necessarily Jedi, you know, because they don't have the Force, but they have grappling hooks, rocket packs, and hand-to-hand combat.
Beskar steel
and Beskar. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I
don't know. Going back to Bad Batch, closing thoughts or whatever, connecting it to the other series. I think it would be hard to say if it's on. Well, I guess you could say it's on par because it's in motion. But I mean, we're looking at Rebels and Clone Wars, The Mandalorian, which are far more developed than this show is right now. But I do know at this point in the season, I felt better about definitely The Mandalorian, you know, a third of the way through. I was really into this show, the first episode. Thought it was awesome. It was
Yeah.
like way better than I thought it was gonna be.
Same.
I don't know. I've kind of
We're
cooled
hitting
off on it.
Yeah, we're hitting
lately.
a lull.
But obviously gonna stick with it. It's this episode is just kind of more, I still got those questions of what's going on with the Empire. I kind of wish that was happening. What's going on with Crosshair? Are they just is Wrecker gonna switch? Like, we don't need to like keep having like all these retrievals and like showing us people over and over again.
Side quests.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I just want to complete the main story. Omega learning how to shoot, and she's like, I did it. Like, look, I get that the show's for kids with a kid, but there are times where I'm like, I hate being an adult because there's nothing. I've seen this so many times. Because Sid can handle one of those bow and arrows.
Oh yeah, she like took it and like
Yeah,
hit 3 right in a row.
Yeah. Hey kid, you gotta work out those noodly arms. Then you'll freaking be blasting in no time. Oh boy. But yeah, definitely the average has gone down. If I could base it just on the first episode, I would say it's definitely stronger than Clone Wars. And as the first episode's only for all the first episodes, stronger than Rebels in a way. But Rebels did develop into something really great that if you didn't stick with it, you would be missing out. Whereas Clone Wars, there's a lot to go through because there's so many characters that are Jedi that.
And it's not in order either.
Yeah.
You got to like do homework to figure out how to watch it.
Yeah. There's flashbacks and then there's the movie, the Clone Wars movie. And then you have to delete all the old Clone Wars cartoons from the Toonami or Adult Swim stuff. So, and did it improve the prequels? Yeah, it did. Clone Wars totally improved the prequels. Was it, as phenomenal as what we have on right now? No, but it was working towards this, right? So,
right.
Conclusion.
I think we pretty much covered it, huh?
Yep. Don't have to watch this show anymore. All right, everybody. I'm just kidding.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. As far as stuff coming up, there is a new Bounty Hunter coming up this week, which is involved with War of the Bounty Hunters. Maybe we'll talk about it. We'll see if something big happens.
Yeah.
Did you read the other Bounty Hunters?
Well,
book?
That's what I thought you read when you mentioned you were reading Bounty Hunters with Vance and him. Yeah. One of his crew was trying to kill a woman that had, not his crew, sorry. It was a gangster's son killing his baby's mama. And then they killed him and it killed one of their crew. And the guy is named Vance, and he is a Terminator. He has like a robot like eye and stuff. And it's one of those like, oh, this is a comic book. This isn't Star Wars to me. But I read some of that. I don't know anything about Dr. Aphra, actually. I just know her by cover art.
I think Dr. Aphra comes out later in this month. Bounty Hunters 12 came out. That is so. These are all going to be linked to War of the Bounty Hunters, like crossover.
Yeah, it's a big event.
So, Bounty Hunters 12 was released, and then next week is Bounty Hunter 13, and then we can kind of go over it if you want, especially if the next Bad Batch episode is a little
is like this
like
one.
This one, we can kind of go over that. So that may be cool. We can go over the Bounty Hunter 12, Bounty Hunter 13.
There's something not exciting about robots shooting other robots, and then knowing that the Bad Batch is going to get through each episode, like all of them alive, intact. I hate saying that, but it's like I need some sort of danger or some sort of lasting repercussion.
Yeah, I think that's why the first episode was so cool, seeing Crosshair like turn on him, right? Because it's a little different now. I mean, when it happens and Wrecker turns, it's like, okay, it's not going to be as surprising. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why character development is so important in these series too. It's because
Right.
we know they're going to be okay. The stakes aren't that high because we know they're going to make it through.
Hmm.
So you develop the characters and make that more exciting.
Yeah. It's strange though, because as far as like attachment and who I care would die, uh, I feel like Tech, he would just have like a couple of words and then pass away, and then people wouldn't feel that much. If Echo were to bite it, I feel like he's already like half android,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, he doesn't do anything for me. So it's Omega, Hunter, and Wrecker, and Wrecker is kind of got like the mind of a child
Yeah,
and super strength. So I do kind of have like some uh, affection for him as a
and he's
character.
got the innocence, right?
Kind of, but the thing is, he's like a badass that kills. So
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
and like if he changes, his demeanor would change, I assume. Otherwise, that'd be really messed up if Wrecker was like, "Remember when I made that little house for you? Well, I'm gonna put you in a grave," and then like kill Omega. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
that's really freaking weird. I wouldn't want that. And Hunter as the reluctant leader, I expect him to have that as a martyr, like you know, where his last stand, he just gives his life to save someone he cares about, which would be Omega. And if they killed
Omega.
Omega, there's no way they kill Omega. But
I don't think it's likely.
yeah. But if Omega turns out to develop into a character that is like horrible in the Star Wars universe that just, I had forgotten about, that would be kind of nuts for me. Cause like I've already seen
Hor-
Anakin.
Horrible is in like
No,
not an
fair.
interesting character, or like
No,
horrible isn't a bad person.
bad person, like an evil
Okay.
person. And if she does end up being Palpatine's spawn, I'd be super disappointed. Cause like I don't
Yeah.
like, I don't know, I don't like cloning the Force because that was kind of like a whole thing they were saying we couldn't do, and that just seems really fast that they could all of a sudden do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Plus, it would bring back some traumatic memories
Rise of
of sitting
Skywalker.
in the AMC theater at the block at 7:30 in the morning on Saturday.
Oh, you watched it in the morning?
Yeah, well, because I wanted to watch it in the Dolby Cinema,
Right.
and it was all sold out except for like 7:30 in the morning
Oh, okay.
on the Saturday after it released, and so I bought the tickets because that's all there was.
Oh, that's fine. So my friends group, we kind of like we're all different on how we felt about the Star Wars franchise. Personally,
Mm-hmm.
I loved the last Skywalker or the Last Jedi,
Mm-hmm.
but other friend didn't like it, and the other one was like, whatever. So then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go out midnight showing of Rise of Skywalker. And then someone told me like it's pretty bad, and I was like, huh, I wonder how bad and how. And so then I go see it like I think the weekend after the opening weekend, and all I'm doing is like I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Did Michael Bay direct this? It's just what? Nothing makes sense.
Yeah,
And my reaction was just like, Babu Frick, what? Huh, what?
it's weird. I've never felt so.
It was so jarring as a movie to watch.
I never felt so disappointed about a movie that I didn't completely hate. Like there were some things about it that I kind of enjoyed. Like I kind of liked like the idea like there's more of us than there are them, right? It's like came
Sure.
together. I like that. Babu Frick was fun. I like the
Yeah.
C3PO had more to do because he had like nothing to do in the other two. Um, that's
Yeah.
about it, man.
No.
But
Here's the
Kylo
thing.
Ren was fun too.
Yeah, it's just my whole thing is like things they introduced that I didn't know what was going on. And I'm not like some old person that's like I get upset when I'm confused and there's an easy explanation for.
Right.
I'm more like what happened? Did I miss something? Am I in the wrong? Am I the only person that thinks I'm taking crazy pills? But no, like there's a general, I don't know, for people who have similar tastes and like ideas on movies, or at least what I had saw, I was just like, okay, so, um, what's his name? Crap. Light speed skipping. Poe Dameron.
Oh, Poe Dameron, yeah.
Just wrecks the living piss out of the Millennium Falcon. Like it's on fire when they land. You know, and that was like, what are you doing? That's horrible. And then he always is happy to see BB-8. And like, if I was BB-8 and I saw how he treats his like machines, I'd be like, no,
Me.
no, you'll sacrifice a whole bombing fleet of humans. What chance do I have as a small ball on top of another ball?
It's really funny because I forget he's like BB-8 is Poe's droid because like
Yeah.
he's never with him.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like they have these. You're supposed to understand they have a relationship, but you never show it on screen consistently. You know.
Yeah.
And that's really frustrating. Like the whole like, I forgot to tell you, Ray. What were you gonna tell her? And now's not the time to say. Oh, you could say it back then, but not now. Like, I don't know what that's supposed to be, but you guys just dropped it and then you never acknowledged it.
I think they were also, and this is me speculating, but I think they were trying to set up some Disney Plus series. I think a lot of that was shot in mind for that, specifically that stuff between Finn and Rey. Because I remember what did John Boyega say? John Boyega said like, "You think you're gonna Disney Plus me? No way."
Yep. That's what he said.
And I think that's what the intention was to like, we're gonna have a Disney Plus show and take on from where they go from here, and John Boyega and Rey or Poe, whatever, are gonna go and do their own adventures after that.
I think